So here's a thought. What happens when the most powerful people in a country, the top CEOs, the leading thinkers, all the leaders, what if they all get together, but they've completely lost their purpose? Well, we're going to break down a pretty provocative argument today that says this is exactly what's happening in South Korea. And it connects this problem to a major national crisis and offers up a pretty radical solution.
All right, so the speaker at the heart of all this kicks things off with a really fundamental question. What is the true purpose of these super elite social clubs? Are they just for personal networking, climbing the corporate ladder? Or should they be serving a much, much higher collective purpose?
Okay, so first things first, let's look at the exact groups we're talking about here. The speaker points to several really well-known organizations, places that bring together all of South Korea's big players. We're talking economic and social leaders.
Yeah, we're talking about some pretty influential groups, right? You've got your global chapters like the Rotary and Lions clubs, and also some homegrown ones. These are the places where the country's most capable people are supposed to gather. And, in theory, their whole purpose is leadership development, high-level networking, and creating these powerful business connections. That's the idea anyway.
But, and this is the real core of the critique, the speaker argues that even though they've gathered all this amazing talent, these clubs have just completely lost their way. They've become almost entirely focused on socializing. To put it in his own words, the very people who have the power to make a real difference are just playing.
And to really drive this point home, he uses this incredibly powerful and really vivid metaphor to describe what he thinks is happening to all of this concentrated influence.
He basically says these groups have turned into warehouses. Think about it. They're just storing influential people. All this talent, all these resources and connections, they're all being stockpiled, but with no direction, no purpose, no mission to get them moving. So they just sit there, totally inert and completely unused.
And this isn't just about wasted potential. This is where it gets really serious. The speaker draws a direct and, frankly, a deeply alarming line from this inaction to one of South Korea's most painful and pressing national crises.
So what's the actual consequence of all this? What's the real price a nation pays when its most capable people are, as he puts it, just playing while all their potential is locked away in these so-called warehouses?
Well, he points to something incredibly tragic and unflinching. For more than a decade now, South Korea has had the highest suicide rate among developed nations. Number one. And the speaker isn't presenting this as some unfortunate coincidence. No, he's saying it's a direct consequence of this massive failure of leadership. And he says this has been the reality for almost 20 years. He frames this as something way beyond just a policy problem. He calls it a profound moral failure. And he uses some incredibly strong language here, basically saying that ignoring this crisis, when you have the power to do something about it, is like preparing for heavenly punishment. Wow. Okay, so if the problem is a total loss of purpose, then the solution has to be about finding a new one, right? And the speaker's whole call to action is built around this really powerful Korean concept.
That concept is Jungbub. It basically means a just cause or a noble purpose, the kind of thing that justifies and inspires a whole bunch of people to act together. He argues that this is exactly what these clubs have lost. He points out that, way back when, groups like the Rotary Club or the Lions Club, they had a clear Jungbub. They were all about eradicating polio or leprosy. That was a mission that got people fired up.
So what's the proposed new Jungbub for today? He puts forward a single, clear, incredibly urgent national mission that he thinks every single influential person can and should rally behind. Korea Suicide Zero. But to hit a goal that big, that ambitious, he's pretty clear that the old models, the exclusive, social-focused clubs, they just won't cut it. He envisions something completely new.
And the difference is just stark. You look at the old clubs, right? They're all about socializing, high membership fees, and a lot of them are just imported foreign models. But this new idea, the Social Parents Club, it's the total opposite. It is laser-focused on the mission, Korea Suicide Zero. It's not about expensive fees, it's accessible. And it's designed to be a uniquely Korean model, built for a Korean problem.
But here's the thing. His vision doesn't just stop at Korea's borders. He actually sees solving this internal crisis as the key to completely transforming the country's role on the entire world stage.
And he lays out this super clear four-step path to get there. First, you start at home. You tackle the suicide crisis in Korea head-on. Second, you achieve Korea Suicide Zero and prove that this new model actually works. And then, step 3, the world will follow. He's convinced that other countries will see this success and look to Korea for the blueprint. And from there, you get to step 4. You expand the movement internationally, creating global social parents.
So this really brings the whole argument to its powerful conclusion. The speaker is basically saying this is a pivotal moment. The time for just importing foreign cultures and models is over. It's time for South Korea to create its own, to become an exporter of social innovation, and to lead the world by solving one of humanity's most difficult problems.
And that really leaves us with the big question at the heart of this whole thing, doesn't it? Can a single focused mission, a single noble cause, actually redirect the immense power of a nation's elite? Can it genuinely create profound, lasting, measurable change? It's a heck of a question to think about.